Howdy, Vikings. It's Kong. I got an interesting email from Palmetto State Armory today that had some pretty good deals on it and had good deals on optics, and they kind of went different directions. And as I thought about that, as they were the same price point, I thought it might be worth diving into a little bit for those that don't have the experience. In this instance, it was a LPVO by Vortex Strike Eagle 2, the 1 to 6 model with a mount for $220. And then they had a Hollow Sun red dot with a Hollow Sun magnifier for $220. Both the same price point, both great equipment, great deals all around. But I don't think everybody really understands that they can serve very different roles. They have different capabilities, and sometimes people are afraid to ask questions. But you've got a lot of great, experienced people here to ask those questions, and not everybody has that. Sometimes somebody will ask a question, and hey, what's a great optic for me? And they'll say, this is what you need. The response really should be, well, what are you trying to do with it? What's the goal? What's it going on? What's its purpose? Once you know what its purpose is, then you can guide the person the right way. About the only time that I find that to be an exception, I think most of us will think that, what's a good magazine for my AR-15? In which case, we're all going to say Magpul PMax, industry standard for a reason. Other great options out there, Lancers and some others, but you can't go wrong for the price point reliability of the Magpul PMag. But let's get into optics for a moment. Let's talk about the different roles of magnified optic versus a red dot versus a red dot with a magnifier. There's going to be different roles for different people, different physical capabilities. Some of the positions we're going to be filling is Sentry Post LPOP. And in my experience, a very good 4-ounce lightweight 2 MOA red dot from manufacturers like Hollow Sun, which make great stuff, or even better, EOTech, Aimpoint. There's some great options out there, but they're lightweight, usually very affordable, very accurate. 100, 200 yards is very easy. So, if you're in a position where 100, 200 is kind of all you're really worrying about, very good. Very easy out to 300. The drop from 100 to 300 is not very significant. Once you get past 300, the bullet drop gets considerable, and that's where, something with a bullet drop compensator might come in handy. But before I get into that, let's talk about magnifiers. Magnifiers are great. It helps you see what's going on around your target and your target itself. But once you add the dot, the magnifier, and of course with the dot just being a electrical dot, you need to have backup irons. The weight savings isn't as great as people think it is. I did the math. This whole sighting system compared to this, it's only about 8 ounces lighter, which 8 ounces, it's a half a pound. It's not nothing. I'm not saying it is. But you need to discuss the purpose, the role, and the capabilities that you need for what you're planning to do. Again, having magnification, you can see out further, but understanding bullet drop at 4, 5, and 600 yards of your 5.56 rifle with just a dot, whether it's magnified or not, you've really got to be on top of your stuff. So, does it give the advantage of shooting further? Possibly, but you really have to know your stuff. Again, you have the advantage of lightweight, easy to use, inexpensive, and great 100, 200 yards, even 300 if you know your target and what's beyond it. So I think that fills a lot of roles very well. Anybody that is interested in going a little bit further than that, being a little bit more proficient, possibly looking into the upcoming marksman and sharpshooter program, items like these LPVOs are a fantastic option. Again, they're half pound heavier, which is significant, but with a bullet drop compensation that's built in, and they're pretty accurate. I mean, if you stick to the guidelines in the manual, such as this one, 16 to 18 inch barrel, 1 to 7 to 1 to 9 inch twist rates, 55 to 62 grain. If you stick within that, it's surprisingly accurate. And I shoot this out to 600 yards, and this is nothing special. It's really not. and it does very, very well. I've used it in 5 biathlons. We've shot to 500 yards every single time. I have yet to fail one of those stages with this. So it makes understanding your bullet drop at 4, 5, 600 yards significantly easier. It's got an etch reticle, so even if the battery goes out, you've still got an aiming device. A lot of them will have a illuminated reticle option that will take a battery. It's a nice little feature to have. Is this right for you? Well, again, it depends on what your role is. Such as these are two very different rifles. This is a 10.5 inch. Traditionally, I'm not running a magnifier because of the cartridge and the barrel length combination that I have. A red dot is very sufficient for that. Lightweight, quick, easy to use. This one being my 16 inch, my go-to kind of for everything. Take on all comers. Yeah, I'm going to go out with a little bit more capability at the expense of a little extra weight. In conjunction with a red dot up top set to night vision mode, of course, with night vision accessories here. But again, do you need this and this? I mean, are you running night vision? If not, then there's no need to worry about that. Some people really need to focus on a rifle around 7 pounds, because if you have a 12-pound rifle versus 7 pounds, well, that's 5 pounds worth of water, food, gloves, any type of sustenance that you could need out in the field. You're going to have to carry that on top of your rifle. So figure out what your objective is and talk to your instructors at Viking Tactical. We've got very good people with lots of experience, and we'll get you set up within your budget for success. So we'll see you at training. Take care.